to this round, Sarah.
Absolutely, I don't think that rivalry is going to stop anytime soon. I mean, Vasquez is leading the championship so far, but only by 9 points. I mean, he's done fantastically all year, but NEC, he didn't even qualify. I mean, that threw a spanner right in the works.
It certainly did. Look, and something to mention that this weekend is that he is, well, the owner of that car has sold it. So the new owner is here this weekend. He's going to be driving it tomorrow in the Battle Royale, and he actually crashed that car earlier in practice, and they've been frantically working away in the pits trying to get that car back 100%. But let me tell you, it looks battered and bruised, and I think it's just going to be a fact this weekend. Can they make that car work? Can they make it last? Can he get himself to the podium? Because realistically, Wonnacott looks on form, and I think we're going to see those two guys in the final.
Absolutely. I mean, Martin Wonnacott 9 points behind Aramis Vasquez with 181 points totaling the full season. I mean, he's actually only won once as well. So he's kind of crept up there, and he's on form now, isn't he?
He certainly is, yeah. I mean, look, we're talking about the track. Let's take a look at our track VT, our virtual track. For you guys here in attendance, you can take a look at the big screen. For everybody at home, you can take a look at your monitors, and we're going to put on the virtual run. And here we go, look at this. So this challenging track, Sarah, not easy for these guys. They come off the start line, through the gears, first, second, third, and then a little flick onto the wall. Big outside wall run on that first outer zone, into second outer zone, through the middle, rear clip again. Another rear clip, back in, middle, a centre clip there on the inside of the track, transition in front of the judging tower, back up onto the wall again, and then they head down into, these roundabouts, and these roundabouts being very, very popular this year in drifting, and then across the finish line at that final clipping point. It's a spectacular track. We see some fireworks last night in our Pro-Am Championship, and I tell you what, from watching practice today, our pro drivers are looking on form.
This is going to be some epic action today. I mean, like you say in there yesterday, the Pro-Ams, the speed around here was what surprised me the most, because when I first came down and had a look at the track, I thought, it's not too fast, it's just a bit technical. I'll tell you what, they're throwing it around this place.
They certainly are. Look, and earlier on, me and the judges, we took a walk down to the opposite side of the track where these guys come past to the wall on that outside wall clip, and they are literally full throttle all the way through the centre of the track as they head to the wall. And look, dangerous. It's caught a lot of guys out. We've lost a lot of drivers so far today, but let's get this show on the road, as they say, Sarah, and let's get the first driver to the line. And the first guy for qualifying will be Cole Farrar. Cole Farrar, the full-time rock star. Well, that's a lie. We know he's got a job. So
part-time rock star.
Part-time rock star.
That'll do.
Mazda RX-8 comes off the line, 1.5 JZ under the bonnet, 500 horsepower. And Cole Farrar doing enough this weekend to get himself into the Pro Championship and putting on a fight. And now, look, the thing that the pros have got to be worried about is that these four Pro-Am drivers that have come through today to compete, they're on form. They've done some serious amount of driving.
Yeah, they've had some massive seat time yesterday. I mean, and obviously they've done well to get to this far anyway, so they're clearly gelling with this track quite well. So I think the pros are going to be watching these guys thinking, these could come in and unsettle the boat, really.
Well, look, we see a big upset yesterday when Willie Hanna took out Josh King in the top 32, and that completely changed the demographic of the championship. Could we see that happen today? Could we see someone come in and upset the championship? We could get, Vasquez taken out early on in top 32. That could open the championship up for Wonnacott. Like you said, 9 points in it. Is that all there is?
9 points between them. So I mean, Wonnacott, he's so close to this. It really could be anyone's game today.
So there we go. First qualifying run of the day done for Cole Farrar. I missed the score.
73, I think. 73. 73.
Well, so there we go. A 73 for Cole Farrar. Up next, it will be Stu Jones, the plumbing engineer from Mansfield in Nottinghamshire. It's Nissan S14, 1UZ, 4-litre V8 turbo underneath the bonnet, 550 horsepower. And Stu Jones, that car looking battered and bruised. He was putting on a fight yesterday. Him and his brother went toe to toe, Sarah.
They absolutely did. I've never seen quite a brotherly rivalry just like that. I mean, they were really egging each other on. They obviously know how to wind each other up on the track, and it was working, but they were having some great fun with it. And you said yesterday, this guy, he goes full Stu, and he really did yesterday, and it's got him where he is this morning.
Yeah, he certainly does. So off the line, Stu Jones, you can see them front lights flashing. And you can see not up as high up onto the wall as what we'd like to see. Nonetheless, Stu Jones gets the back bumper of that S14 into those outside zones, transitions through the middle of the circuit, and that is that moment, what I was saying earlier, that they come through there absolutely full throttle, scrubbing the speed up to the wall, pick up that inside clipping point, and then nice fast fluid transition in front of the judging tower, back up onto the wall again they go. And you can see Stu Jones just shy of that outside line, wanted him to see him right up onto the wall, back bumper running along the wall, sets himself up on a nice transition now into the roundabout and puts the foot down and smokes out the grandstand, takes it across the line. Nice run there from Stu Jones.
Fantastic run from Stu, and that's exactly why he's earned his place with the pros this morning. Sending it full Stu as always.
This afternoon.
This afternoon?
We're getting confused.
We're kind of doing night shifts now. I don't know what's going on.
I keep thinking it's Sunday as well.
Yeah, we don't know what day it is or what time it is, so we'll just wing that.
So there we go, a 57 for Stu Jones on his first qualifying run of the day. We'll move it along to this next man. It will be Luke Barker, the mechanic from Chorley in Lancashire. 350 Z2 JZ under the bonnet, 600 horsepower. And taken out of competition yesterday by Carl Farrar. So rivalry there.
There's already some rivalry before we even got going. But I tell you what, it's brilliant to see Luke getting in some good runs. I mean, he's had really bad luck all season with this car in the UK. He's took it to Ireland and done storming. Over here, he's had nothing but bad luck with it. So it's brilliant to actually see him out and achieving something this weekend.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, like you say, kind of every time he come home to compete, had a lot of misfortune, a lot of broken parts. But yet in Ireland, in that Drift Games National Championship, he finished second, and he was on form. Well, can he replicate that form this weekend here in the Pro class of the British Drift Championship? We see him nice and high on the bank. As Luke Barker squeezes the throttle and unleashes all of that 600 horsepower through the centre of the circuit. And Luke Barker just shy of the wall there. You can see him scrubbing the speed a little bit too soon. Just gets himself in the middle of the track. Nevertheless, gets himself back on that qualifying line as he absolutely flies past the judging tower. Foot to floor from Luke Barker. Not much nicer now on the return pass on that outside zone. But a little error there, a little wobble on the steering as Barker makes his way into the roundabout. Gets it to the wall and across the line, and he'll be happy with that one.
He will be. I had a little chat with Luke last night after the battles, and he said he just wants to go out today and have some fun and enjoy driving that car while it's performing well for him. And that just shows there that that car really goes when it's on form for him.
It certainly does go very well. 600 horsepower there. I think most things would go well with 600 horsepower.
As long as it's working, that's the key, isn't it, though?
So there we go. Scores dropping in for Luke Barker. It will be a 59, so a 59 for Luke Barker on his first qualifying run. Move it along to this man who caused a big upset yesterday in the championship, Willie Hanna. So William Hanna, the renewables O&M manager from Linvanny in Londonderry. Nissan Skyline R33, RB25 under the bonnet, 562 horsepower. Also do a shout out to his sponsors. He's representing Tarmac Sports, AMB Wraps, CMT Contractor, OP Oils and Rolling Road Services. Now look, for me, yesterday, Willie Hanna looked like some moments he was absolutely flying. Other times that car looks like it didn't want to play ball.
Yeah, he kind of looked like there was some little niggles under there that were stopping him, and which is not like his usual driving style. So, yeah, let's see what he can do today.
Yeah, so let's see what Willie Hanna can do as he makes his way down past the judging tower, back up onto the wall goes Willie Hanna. And Willie Hanna just shy, works his way into that outside zone and then scrubs all the speed, using the lock, exactly what the judges were looking for. Big clutch kick, full angle as he comes through the roundabout. Another big clutch kick across the line, and Willie Hanna again looking on form.
I was just about to say, definitely looking on form this morning. I keep saying this morning, it's not morning. It's the first time we've done this late in the day.
Because you've just woke up.
That's it, I was in bed 10 minutes ago, to be fair.
So not sure if that was a miscalculation there, because it was set at a 0. So we're just waiting to see from our judges if that was a 0 or if it was a score. So as you can see, we've got 4 of these guys on circuit at any one time. We get 4 drivers on, they do their qualifying run, then we bring another 4 drivers out, they'll do their qualifying run, and the others will head back into the pits, queue back up and get into the queue. Reason we do this? For a little bit of speed, because we don't want to keep opening and closing the gate constantly, because obviously these guys come past the entrance to the circuit, so we have to shut that gate. It's far too dangerous to send them down there. And so it was a 61 for Willie Hanna, not a 0. Slight technical issue, having a few hiccups. So next guy off the line will be Josh King, the mechanic from Worcester, West Midlands, driving this BMW E36. And look at that, from King onto the wall he goes. He had a sour end to his championship yesterday. And Josh King looking for some redemption right now as he comes down through the centre of the circuit, just shy of the outside zone. He's going to pick up that front clipping point perfectly though, Josh King. This weekend had a sour end to his championship. Can he get some luck back? Can he get some form back as he gets the back end of that car back up onto the wall again, fires it on angle? You see him hardly any lifting off the throttle as King fires cones across the track and across the line, very tidy.
That has got to be a very good score for Josh King now. I mean, that's just showing why he got so high up in the Pro-Am Championship in the first place. Unfortunately, luck just was not on his side yesterday, and he ended his championship there, but he scored well there with a 78.
Yeah, so a 78 there for Josh King, looking strong. Very, very nice run there from that young man. And up next, though, will be this guy, Paul Cunnington. Paul Cunnington topped qualifying yesterday on his first qualifying run. Insane stuff. And you know what? He showed true form all day, and he was absolutely flying.
He was buzzing afterwards when we were chatting to him. Oh, he was so pleased with his result and so pleased. He kind of just said to me, look, it's the end of the season. He said, I've been kind of doing all right all year. And he said, I just thought, look, this is it now. I've got to send it. I've really got to show what I'm capable of.
He certainly has got to send it. So Paul Cunnington, nothing to lose right now. You can see him let that car wash as he gets into that outside zone. And then pedaling that car, really working it. Said he's been studying videos of the way that Dwayne McKeever drives his car, and said he tried to replicate that yesterday and it worked. And he said he finally found a way that he can drive a car that works for him and the car. And he said it allows me to do things that I haven't done before. He said I barely use the handbrake anymore. He said I'm just driving the car nearly full throttle, using a lot of the clutch to get that car where I need it to be. And you know what? I would say one thing: don't change a thing, Paul Cunnington, because it looks like it's working as he fires round right now through the roundabout to that final clipping point on the wall. And again, another very good, confident run there.
Fantastic run. You can see that his confidence is growing. I mean, whatever it is that he's found, the strategy of driving, it's working for him. It's given him a brilliant result yesterday and in the championship, and it's obviously given him a place today as well in the pros. So we'll just wait for a score to stop in for Paul.
So it looks like another good score from our Pro-Am drivers as we get a 76 or a 76 for Paul Cunnington on his first qualifying run. And then this man, well, he topped the podium yesterday in the Pro-Am Championship with a spectacular few battles and an incredible battle against Willie Hanna. Off the line comes Martin Cowley, the machinist from Rushton in Northamptonshire, and his Nissan S14 2JZ, 540 horsepower. I'm going to make a claim right now, Sarah, which is pretty bold. I'm going to say that the battle between Willie Hanna and Martin Cowley yesterday was probably the battle of the year.
I would probably agree with that. I mean, if you haven't seen it, watch the live stream back. It was unbelievable. He did a pass like I have never ever seen before.
Now look at this, Cowley looking very confident as he gets the back end of the S14 to the wall. He comes absolutely screaming past the grandstand, fires that car, keeps it all the way to the edge of the circuit, just avoiding those cones on that outer zone, and across the line he goes. Martin Cowley looking strong as ever.
I think he's one to worry about. I think the pros are going to be sat worrying about him now.
Yeah, I definitely think they will be, especially with the chase driving that he performed yesterday. It was just absolutely phenomenal. So
it's one of the best drives I've seen.
And he's the reason why I sound like I do today as well.
Yeah, you were a little bit excited.
I was a little bit excited. There we go, an 80 for Martin Cowley on his first qualifying run. So he does top qualifying at the moment. Then we move it along to some of the usual suspects that we will see in our pro class. Up next will be Matt Carter. Matt Carter coming back to the UK to put on a show and compete in the final round of the British Drift Championship after a campaign in Europe in the Drift Masters European Championship. Matt Carter bringing that experience and knowledge from Europe back to the BDC and saying, I'm only here for one thing this weekend, and that's to have some fun and mess up the championship. Well, Matt Carter has been flying all weekend. Oh, look at that car, takes that car straight to the wall, no messing around, as he puts the back end of that Nissan Skyline onto the wall and screams through the centre of the circuit, just a little bit shy on that outside zone 3, but he's going to get back up onto the wall again, and Carter closest that we've seen anyone so far on that outside zone 5, down past the judging tower on full throttle, lifts off, sets that car up perfectly, gets back up onto the wall again, and Matt Carter pushing that car all the way around the wall, throwing up a smoke screen as he uses the angle to slow it down. Big clutch kick once again from Matt Carter, and across the line Buxton shows some appreciation.
Fantastic run from Matt Carter there. Whatever Europe's been teaching him, it's certainly working for him. I don't know how he held it after he tapped that wall. I thought that was it. Incredible
stuff there. Absolutely incredible from Matt Carter. And the judges were, fist bumping.
They were on their feet. Yeah, they were loving that run. The commitment. If you tap the wall, it must be so easy to give up at that stage and back off because you think, oh, that's it, I'm done. But to keep it in.
So we await the score for Matt Carter to drop in. The judges just deliberating this one ever so slightly. So we wait to get that score on as we get 4 new drivers out onto the track and those 4 guys off. Also, here we go, big score coming in for Matt Carter. And then we go an 85, so an 85 for Matt Carter in his first qualifying run. That's a statement straight away from that young man. We'll move it back to the line where we do see William Rose making his way to the start line now, returning back to the British Drift Championship. And Willie Rose piloting this little BMW E36 compact, running an M3 3.2 straight 6 under the bonnet. And everyone says, you know, Willie Rose, don't see him a lot. Is he still as good as what he was? Well, let me tell you something right now. He come out and practice earlier and he run the back bumper along every single wall just for fun.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing this because I don't think I've actually seen this guy this year, so I can't wait to see what he's got to bring.
No, Willie Rose has been a long time out of the British Championship. I know that he was campaigning some championship fun in Ireland and then shipped that car back over to the UK to continue. As we finally get Willie Rose to the start line. Now he's warmed up the tyres. Here we go, Willie Rose off the line. And this man known for his driving style. He's just shy off that wall though, maybe keeping this one, maybe being a little bit reserved, trying to be very clever with his first run. You can see nice big flick across the middle of the track. He's close to the wall there, as you can see. A nice drone shot today. We've got the drone up.
Loving the drone shot out there today. Makes such a difference. You can see the track from a completely different viewpoint.
So there we go, Willie Rose up onto the wall he goes. And again, just drops down ever so slightly. He's going to keep the back end of that car away from the wall for this run. I'm pretty sure Willie Rose knows what he's doing. He's going to put in a technical run. He's going to be very calculated about this. And he knows he wants to just get a score on the board to qualify. Well, yesterday we see some, you know, there's a lot of zeros. We see three bye runs.
A lot of zeros yesterday. But then the guys were dealing with a bit of a patchy track because we did have a lot of rain in the morning as well. So we can kind of expect that a little bit there. I think we've possibly got just a little technical
glitch,
hiccup with the score there.
There's been a couple of those this morning, you know. This morning, I've done it.
See, this morning, I told you.
So there we go, an 82 for William Rose. We move it along to this guy. It would be Lewis Mitchell, a carpenter from Long Sutton in Lincolnshire. Nissan S14 running that Boss Motorsport kit. Absolutely incredible looking car. 1JZ under the bonnet, 560 horsepower. Representing Tri's tyres, Graham Styling, Boundless Inc, Bulldog Services and Mitchell Motorsport. I'm not sure if this car is still for sale. I know it was for sale earlier on in the season. And I wonder if a nice result for Lewis Mitchell would, you know, maybe persuade him to hold it. Yeah. So Mitchell right now comes down through the middle of the circuit. You see him just get off that throttle a little bit too early, slowed that car down. He's going to pick up that front clipping point, but he was way away from that outside zone. He's got a D-beaded tyre on the back of that car, and you can see Lewis Mitchell is going to finish up this run with a D-beaded tyre on the driver's side. Oh no, he shut it down. And just goes to show you, these guys running such low tyre pressures that these tyres D-bead so quickly. So easily.
I mean, the tyre pressure's being so low, it's something quite unusual really in any other sport.
I think Ollie Elmore said that he's down to 4 PSI.
4 now.
4 PSI.
Might as well not have it on, just run on the rims. Same thing, right?
Yeah, might as well. Yeah. So Lewis Mitchell will make his way off the circuit. And unfortunately that will be a 0, I do believe. We need to make that official though from our judges. So there we go. Just trying to, there we go, make it official. It will be a 0 for Lewis Mitchell on his first qualifying run. And on the line you can hear the crazy sounds of Nathan Chivers' Nissan S13, the owner of GDA Sports Cars in Tunbridge Wells in Kent. LS2 under the bonnet supercharged, just making a mere 700 horsepower. Representing Hill Performance, GDA Sports Cars, Driver Factory, Ashley Signs and Lenco Motorsport. And Nathan Chivers has been competing in the British Championship for 10 years now. Gets nice and close to the wall. Almost smokes himself out there, goes Nathan Chivers. I spoke to Nathan yesterday and this morning, and Nathan said that he had a big accident on a very similar track to this in Wimbledon many moons ago, and he absolutely destroyed his car and he had to rebuild it. And he said when he turned up here, he was throwing it. He had all those flashbacks from that accident. They come flooding back in, and he said, I don't know if I can drive it, you know. And he was very tentative on his first couple of runs. But let me tell you what, that was a very good run there from Nathan Chivers. And
yeah, he's looking strong.
That's probably one of the best performances we've seen in qualifying from Nathan Chivers all season. We go, nice score dropping in for Mr. Chivers. Ben liking that one. And a 71 there for Nathan Chivers. Gets him in 7th position. He's looking strong at the moment for top 24. So we go back to the line. We do see Julie Robinson now warming up her tyres in the back of this Nissan Skyline R32. The instructor from New Milton in Hampshire. RB25 under the bonnet, 300 horsepower. Representing Kettering Motorist Centre. She just wants to say a massive thank you to Kettering Motorist Centre on all her drift family Friends. So Julie Robinson, you can see that back of that car taking on some damage. Julie said, I've got all winter to repair this car and get it straight again for 2020. Very wide through the middle of the circuit goes Julie Robinson. And she gets very close to the wall. Julie Robinson on form right now. And a lot of people saying that this is the best they've seen Julie drive all season. These guys saving the best till last. Julie Robinson looks up at the back end of that Nissan Skyline, back onto the wall once again as Robinson gets nice and deep into the outside zone. Keeps committed, keeps the foot down. Looks down for the roundabout, dials on the angle to slow it down. A little dab of the handbrake. Keeps it within the track limits and across the line goes Julie Robinson, ladies and gentlemen.
That was a fantastic run from Julie there. I think you're right. I think that's probably one of the strongest runs I've seen her do all season. That was brilliant. That was really, really good. She's always doing a great job of representing the female drift community.
She certainly is. So Julie Robinson there, we'll wait for her score to drop in and we'll be looking very nice there for Julie Robinson, a 66, so a 66 on Mrs. Robinson's first qualifying run of the day. And then we get those 4 guys off the track and the next 4 on. And let me tell you, this man up next, Hayden Cruikshank, what a day he's had.
I didn't think he'd be pulling up to the line, in all honesty.
Well, let me tell you something. Me and Sarah, we walked through the paddock before we came to the tower to, begin this live stream. And we had a little chat to some of the drivers and had a little look around the paddock and see the cars. And Hayden Cruikshank had one side of his Toyota Cresta ratchet strapped to a recovery truck. He had a ratchet strap around the front chassis rail on the passenger side, and he had that attached to a Nissan Navara. And there were 6 guys in the back of the Nissan Navara to weigh it down, and they were trying to pull the chassis rail straight. So Hayden Cruikshank took this car to the wall heavily earlier on in practice. He said, I won't be defeated. And he comes out and absolutely battered and bruised, looking Toyota Cresta right now. The managing director of Colour Sound Experiment Limited in from London, 2JZ under the bonnet, 650 horsepower, representing Fig Newtons. That Ricky Bobby livery. And Hayden Cruikshank saying, well, I've done all the damage I could possibly do to this car. There's not much left to it, so let's have some fun. Looking good so far as he comes down, back up onto the wall he goes. You can see that car not 100% as he had to adjust massively, and he finds himself in the middle of the circuit. Didn't get to that outer zone. You can see them front wheels just not looking right. You can see the amount of steering inputs Hayden Cruikshank having to put into that car to keep it going around the circuit, but nevertheless he does put a run in, Sarah.
He absolutely does, and that wasn't too bad at all, considering, like you said earlier, Ian, that car was not straight in any manner of speaking whatsoever, so it's brilliant to see him out getting looking like a decent score with a 58 for Hayden Cruikshank there, so I'm really, really pleased that he's managed to get out and get a run in there. And
yeah, so there we go, at 58 for Hayden Cruikshank, and you know what, a massive shout out to him and all of his crew and his team down there for getting that car straight and back out. We're along back to the start line. You can see this man, David Egan, the drift event organiser from Kildare. Well, he would be driving his Ford Mustang, but he said there is no way that I am wrecking that iconic car on this circuit, because he said to me, I'm prepared to put this car to the wall. So he is now driving his Sunoco Race Fuels Funk Motorsport Mobile One. Nissan 180SX SR20 under the bonnet, 500 horsepower, and he said this car so battered and bruised from being used in the Drift Games National Drift Games Extreme Championship that he said I'm not worried about creasing in the rear quarters, getting in the boot and kicking them straight again. So expect to see Mr. Egan onto the wall. He said nothing to lose, last event for him for 2019, he just wants to have fun. So off the line comes David Egan. You see nice and early, straight up and high onto the bank. And again, another driver just creeping away ever so slightly from that wall. Going to save that for the second run. They're very deep on that outside zone. Oh, what a big straight from Egan in the middle of the circuit. You see that car react in a way that he wasn't ready for, and he had to make some adjustments as he picks up that front clipping point. Gets past the judging tower, now goes back to the wall once again, and this time he's going to try and get the back end of that car to the wall. He's very close and very high up on the bank goes Dave Egan. Foot to floor as he finds himself coming down into the roundabout, scrubbing some speed, big angle as he takes down all of the cones. Gets the back end of the car to the wall and across the line. Very good run there from David Egan. Yeah, brilliant from David Egan there. It looked a little bit wobbly at first, but he really picked it up on the last half of the run, so that should give him a good score. And I think he's probably safe there, not using the Mustang against these walls, to be fair. Yeah, he said it costs considerably more. Yeah, I think I'd have done the same thing as him. Oh, the exhaust, I wonder what it was as David Egan drove past. The exhaust had fell down, so he'd just done most of that run with the exhaust on the floor. You don't need that, it's fine. Don't need that bit. So scores dropping in for Mr. Egan, and it will be a 63, so a 63 for Dave Egan. As we move back to the start line to this man, well, if you follow Ollie Elmore on social media, you will see the incredible nightmare that this young man has had in the past week.
He's done pretty much an entire rebuild of the engine and the rest of the car
He
in
has
3 weeks.
literally rebuilt nearly the whole car. He lost the engine at the last round at Buxton. That destroyed the turbo. He destroyed the gearbox. There was hardly anything left as he takes it to the wall. And Ollie Elmore not scared at all to put that Nissan Skyline to the wall. Yeah, absolutely. Put every single waking minute into this car in the last week to get it rebuilt back to the British Drift Championship. Brand new engine, a rebuilt turbo from Owen Developments, the gearbox rebuilt from Samsonus. He gets it into the car and he puts on an incredible qualifying run. And there we go, across the line he goes. And do you want to know something funny, Sarah?
Go for it.
This car's for sale.
Well, it's all brand new now, so that's
He
really good,
said
really.
He said to me, I was going to sell it anyway. He said,
Yes.
but now I thought, well, it's brand new, so I might as well sell it. So if you're interested in buying a pretty decent spec Nissan Skyline, well, there you go. Yeah, 2JZ under the bonnet, 720 horsepower, and Ollie Elmore's car for sale. So if you're interested, shoot Ollie a message. 53 in his first qualifying run.
I'll have to raid my piggy bank, see if I've got enough.
Oh, if I'm buying it, I want him to paint it though, get all them scratches off of it. I don't want none of that business.
I dare say that you might have more chance buying it, because I know there's not much in my piggy bank.
There's none in my piggy bank, so there we go.
Maybe we can club together.
Not going to happen. Still not even enough to afford one wheel. Off the line, Alistair Sutton, the car salesman from Lingfield in Surrey. Nissan S14 BMW M60 4-litre V8 under the bonnet, 280 horsepower. And he finished the 2018 British Drift Championship Pro-Am class in 3rd place overall. So a very good technical driver. I do believe Mr. Sutton was the 2017 Drift Cup champion as well. So this guy, very good technical line driving. Although this car's lacking a little bit of power, Mr. Sutton certainly knows how to get it around this track. He's set himself up nicely now for a clean pass on the roundabout, and Alistair Sutton gets a very nice job done of that one.
Yeah, it could be a little bit more flamboyant with that one, but maybe he's been a little bit tentative. Just it's his first run, and like you say, he's not got as much power as some of the other cars, so I think he might just be putting in a safe run. See what we can do on the second. Yeah, see what we can do on the second.
So there we go, scores dropping in for Mr. Sutton, and it will be a 48, so a 48 there for Alistair Sutton. And we get those guys off circuit, and we get another 4 guys on, another 4 contenders to enter the steel ring.
That is it. Well, concrete, really, isn't it?
Well, it's steel plate. It's 10 mil thick steel plate all the way around the outside of the circuit, and then there's concrete behind it with RSJs and wire.
Yeah, good luck. I wouldn't want to be full send down the middle of the circuit towards that, to be fair, so I've got all respect for these guys.
I wouldn't even drive your road car around here.
Maybe at like 2 miles an hour.
You'd let me drive your car around here?
If you let me drive yours.
No way.
There's
Moving it
the
along,
deal.
back to the line, Mike Wharton sits on the line in the Wharton Motorsport S13. The T-Boy, got Wharton Motorsport from High Wycombe in Buckinghamshire. Nissan S13 2JZ under the bonnet. He says, how many horsepower? Plenty. That's what he said. Oh, look at that from Wharton, nice and high on the bank. Destroying those Westlake tyres on the back. There's that car. And Mike Wharton representing Wharton Motorsport, Turbo Smart, Garage G, CIS, Absolute Customs and Mac Tools UK. And if you're interested in spending some of your pocket money this weekend, head on down into the paddock where Mike Wharton has got his trade stand set up. You can go down there and buy some Cosmos wheels, some Turbo Smart products and some Vibrant Performance fabrication products. Oh, look at that, Wharton takes out that cone. Can he hold on to it? Oh, he's going to mess himself up massively, and he's had to straighten before the line. And that could be potentially an opposite drift and give him a 0, Sarah.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. I think that might be a 0. Unfortunately, it was a real shame because the rest of the run was really, really good.
Oh, and there we go, make it official. It will be a 0. So a 0 for Mike Wharton, his first qualifying run. Opposite drift there in the roundabout, not what the judges wanted to see. It just goes to show you how quickly it could all be over.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, these drivers are all on the limit, aren't they? And a very, very small mistake or small error or small failure in a component and you've got everything gone.
Exactly that. So just looking over here and I can see there's one more giant cupcake left.
Oh yeah, forgot about the cupcakes from yesterday.
And Ryan Pothecary looks at me and puts up his hand. No way.
He's
you
just had a
this.
chocolate one.
This is mine. So a massive thank you to the RC guys, the RC Drift guys, Rat Trap RC, behind the grandstand, for bringing this up. Go down there and check those guys out. They're there all weekend. But off the line is Christian Burkhoffs. Christian Burkhoffs, the Latvian, driving this E36 BMW LSX Supercharged under the bonnet, 800 horsepower representing drift for you. And Christian Burkhoff's making the trip over yesterday from Latvia. And Burkhoff's looking very good in practice, probably the strongest we've seen him drive so far this year in the British Drift Championship. I spoke to his crew chief earlier on. He said, we absolutely love coming to the UK. We have such good fun. The crowds are amazing. All the staff are fun. All the drivers put on a good show, and it's just such a good drift community, a good family. And they said they wouldn't want to go anywhere else in the world and drive. So Christian Burkhoff said, I'll be back for 2020. Don't worry.
Good.
I'm going to be back for the 2020
Good, we're glad about that.
Can he end this one on a high? That's what we want to know. As Burkhoff finishes off that run, we wait for the score to drop in.
I say it every time, I love that car. It sounds
Incredible.
so cool.
Absolutely incredible.
So good.
So, score's not in yet from our judges, so just a little delay. Yep, so I can see the scores going in there after a little deliberation, and a 74 for Christian Burkhoff's. So he'll be happy with that, and he gets himself a place in competition. We move it back to the start line. We see this man, Scott Cartledge, the owner of Birchwood Motor Company from Chesterfield in Derbyshire. Nissan PS13 3UZ under the bonnet, 4.3 litre V8, making 800 horsepower because he strapped an enormous turbo to the front of it. Representing Tri-Ace tyres, rotor wheels, CG Motorsport and IRP. And Cartledge, a 2018 Pro-Am champion, building this brand new car for the Pro class this year as he fires it to the wall. Cartledge using all of that 700 horsepower, sorry, to smoke up the tyres on the back of that car as he fires himself in to the roundabout. Very nice transition. Good job there from Scott Cartledge as he hammers the accelerator and takes it to the wall. Very tidy. Very
tidy indeed. He's looking very, very strong and confident there. Another driver that's got a lot of seat time. He knows the car really well. And it certainly shows, and it pays off for him when you know how the car's going to handle.
It certainly does.
I thought it was going to be a little bit higher myself.
Yeah, I did a 63.
They've obviously seen some things that we didn't.
So a 63 for Scott Cartledge, and that's his daily driver.
He goes to Tesco in it.
Yep, he does.
Why not? Where's he put the shopping though?
Don't know, but he's dropped the rad fans out the back of the car, so rad fans hanging off the back end of the car, so there's work to be done. His car's taking a beating this weekend here at Buxton Raceway. So we get the thumbs up, and we are good to send the next driver off the line. It will be Robin Neeson, refrigeration engineer from Ballymena, North Island. Nissan S13 2JZ 3.4 litre stroked engine, making 800 horsepower, representing Fleet Cool, Dash Photo, Tyre Town, Kits and Bits, MMD, Autotech, ARD Design. And Robin Neeson previously piloted a Toyota Chaser and said that the car was too big, he couldn't get to grips with it, just couldn't make it work. And Kevin Quinn from Quinn's M Sport stripped his 180SX and he said, I've got this perfect shell here for sale. And Robin Neeson said, right, well, let's take out this engine that makes over 1,000 horsepower, let's detune it ever so slightly and throw it in this 180SX, and let's go and have some fun. And you know what, Robin Neeson looking absolutely on form. It's smoked out the crowd, you can't even see the track.
I can't see him or the track now, or the grandstand, they're gone.
I hope they're not gone.
Just temporarily.
Oh, just for a minute.
Just in the smoke.
Oh, right,
but it's nice that we've got some smoke today, not like yesterday with all the rain. So yeah,
you
great.
said it. You said the word.
I know. Sorry. It's all right. I've checked the forecast. We're safe.
We can all blame you, Sarah, if it does do the R word later on today.
It's fine. I've checked the forecast though. We're good. We're good.
Believe it or not, this could be the first round of competition we've had all year that's bone dry.
That would be quite amazing.
Yep. Matt Stevenson said, look, end of the year, I'm going to put a few quid in the meter and we'll get this one working. And Malks, our start line marshal down there, just waving to the crowd, putting on a show. Here we go, scores dropping in for Robin Neeson, and a 58, so a 58 for Mr. Neeson on his first qualifying run. So up next, Stefan Stefanov, the painter from Evesham in Worcestershire. And this man moved to the UK just to compete in the British Drift Championship. That is dedication to him.
That is some commitment and a half, isn't it?
Certainly he is. 2JZ. Oh, sorry, Sarah.
I was just going to say it's a good job he did because he's been doing brilliantly.
He certainly has, yeah. 2JZ under the bonnet of this Nissan S13. 654 horsepower, representing Softail Electronic, Fix Auto, Kershaw, Movac and Hitcar. And Stefanov screaming as he absolutely smashes that rev limiter, gets close to the wall and picks that perfect qualifying line up now as he comes round the back end of the circuit, down in front of the judging tower. On a very shallow transition. He's carrying a lot of speed as he gets himself back bumper to the wall and puts the back end at Nissan 206 nice and close to that immovable wall. Gets into the roundabout, dials on some big angles, smokes up the tyres and takes it across the line. Buxton shows some appreciation for these guys.
Brilliant run from Stefanov. That's what we've come to expect from him. He loves to put on a show and he really enjoys himself out there. He's done brilliantly this year, but he's done amazingly in the wet as well on occasion. He's kind of really pulled it out the bag when everyone else was struggling. So he's definitely got some talent. He's
a very talented young man, he's Stefan Stefanov, and he gets the thumbs up all round. He's happy to go. So there we go, a 64 for Stefanov. Drops him into 10th position at the moment. Don't forget, the top 8 qualifiers stay in the 8th position, and the rest of the grid battle it out. Just the top 24 today here, the final round. We go back to the start line. So a very good friend of mine, Oliver Bolton, the car painter from Essex, driving this incredible Nissan S13 SR20, 440 horsepower. And as you can see, Mr. Bolton been having some fun with the walls this weekend.
Yeah, there's not much of the back of the car left, is there?
There is nothing left of the back end of that car.
At least he's pushing it, he's trying.
He certainly is, yeah. Representing Funk Motorsport, Hell Performance and Link ECU. He got 3rd place in Birmingham NEC. And he says he likes to hit walls, but he doesn't like to fix things. Well, I'm telling you what, you're going to have to put some panels on that car before that car goes anywhere else to any other drift competition in the future. So we are just waiting to get confirmation from our judges before we can send Bolton off the line. So don't forget, we will be back after qualifying at 6 o'clock for our top 24 competition.
Yeah, we certainly will be, and it's going to be some epic action if yesterday is anything to go by.
And if anything, yesterday was just a warm-up as we see Bolton come off the line now, nice and close and high up. Doesn't get too close. It must be hard to kind of judge where the back end of that car is now. It comes down in the middle of the circuit. Big drag of the handbrake though for Bolton. You can see him on the foot brake as well, slowing that car down. He throws on some big angle on that front clipping point. Slams the accelerator 90 degrees to the wall. Oliver Bolton not messing around this weekend, the final round. He says to me he needs to get it done. He needs to get back on that podium for one last time in 2019. Throws more angle as he comes down into the roundabout, and Bolton on that perfect qualifying line in the roundabout. Hammers the accelerator and pulls it across the line. Ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation for Oliver Bolton.
Another young guy with a lot of talent behind that steering wheel.
Incredible amount of talent from this young man. And he would love nothing more than to qualify inside that top 8 and have an easy ride into top 24 and top 16 competition later on today. There we go, scores dropping in for Oliver Bolton. And it will be a 62, so a 62 for Oliver Bolton. Judges not impressed too much. Want to see? They want to see him close to the wall. That's it. Head judge Brad McQueen saying he wants to see the back bumper onto the wall. That's what he wants to see.
I reckon he can do it. I think he's put a safe run in, and I think there's more to see from him.
I think this is why we're getting these mid-pack scores at the moment, because we want the guys are not getting as high in practice.
They just want to be a bit safe to get a score, don't they?
You can see the corner of Ricky Lawrence's car absolutely wrecked. He's been running it along the wall all weekend, and this man's been looking on form in practice. On the line sits Ricky Lawrence, the garage site manager from Aberdeenshire. S13 2JZ on the line, 500 horsepower, representing RL Auto Services, Dynatude, CMT contractor, Lawrence of Kermany and Westlake Tyres. He was the 2018 Fans Pro-Am Driver of the Year. Well, I'm a big fan of Ricky Lawrence. Are you?
Definitely. He's really entertaining to watch. The car, apart from now when he's kind of been pushing it a little bit, the car in general's always turned out pretty well, and yeah, love it.
Well, Ricky Lawrence upset the championship in Teesside as he gets that car off. Into the wall. And Ricky Lawrence gets it wrong on initiation, and just goes to show you how quick it can go wrong.
And as you said, he has been pushing it all weekend, and it's that really fine line between just rubbing the back bumper and the back quarters along the wall to see those scratches you could see on the camera just before he was going to set off, and that basically a couple of inches too far close to the wall, and that's it. It kind of drags you in, and that's it, your run is over.
So there we go, Ricky Lawrence lets that car into the wall, and that will be a 0, but we do need to make that official. So there we go, we make it official, and Ricky Lawrence will score a 0, so a 0 on his first qualifying run. And do a quick shout out to Charlotte Orr for her 29th birthday. Are they here watching? So happy birthday to you, Charlotte. Where are you? Give us a wave, Charlotte. Where are you? I can't see you. Is she there? Is she too worried? No? Come on, give us a wave. Where's Charlotte? Can anyone see her? No.
No, can't see anyone waving.
Embarrassed. So we go back to the start line. We do see Adam Simmons in this crazy, crazy little BMW Z4, ready to go for his first qualifying run. Does it? Oh, it looks like we do need a recovery though for Ricky Lawrence first.
Unfortunately, so it must be more damage than just taking that bumper off. He's obviously took quite a big hit on the back there.
So we are going to get Ricky Lawrence recovered off the track, and then we'll be getting ready to send Adam Simmons, the car painter from Sheffield in South Yorkshire. BMW Z4 LS3 underneath the bonnet, 400 horsepower, representing DKM, Link ECU, Hell Performance, OBP Motorsport, Ram Air, Tri-Ace and Imperial Performance. An interesting fact he's put down, he said, I learnt to drift at Buxton 10 years ago. He says, I know every bump in this track and I'm about to mess up the points this weekend. Well,
that's a statement.
That's
isn't
a
it?
big statement from Adam Simmons right there. But look, I've watched him in practice and he's been flying, and there's nothing better than knowledge and experience, and Adam Simmons will know exactly, like he says, every little bump in this track and where to put that car and how to make a dive.
Yeah.
And so we can just see there Ricky Lawrence getting ready to be recovered off circuit, and just getting told from the nerds in the van.
The nerds are back.
The nerds are back in the van today, saying that Adam Simmons, if he does well this weekend, he could seal the championship constructors for Slide Motorsport.
Really?
So
right, okay,
Simmons,
so it's all to ride for
so
him.
it's all, yes, no championship, for himself, but for the team
for the
constructors, he could seal the deal this weekend and take home the team constructors championship for Slide Motorsport. Never won it. Do you believe that? They've never won it.
Oh, no pressure then, Adam.
No pressure. No pressure.
It's all
Adam.
down to you now.
And I know those guys have been pushing very, very hard for a few years now, trying to get that team constructors championship. Yeah, just the nerds in the van, just playing games with us now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to relay any of that information. So as you can see there, you can see Simmons ready to go. The last couple of drivers ready to go for their qualifying run, and we almost have a top 24. Matt Carter currently leading qualifying with an 85.6 and a very stacked grid. So we're going to get those guys off the track while we get Ricky Lawrence's car recovered, and the next group of drivers on, which will contain Oliver Evans, Martin Monacott and Aramis Vasquez. So Vasquez, that car looking a little bit better now than it did earlier, Sarah, because when he went out last time I see it was in bits, let's just say that.
Yeah, it's looking more like a car now. So let's see what you can do with it. Hopefully it's not going to impede his driving at all. I was going to say this morning again, it's not morning, it's afternoon.
Good morning.
Night shift problems.
So as you can see, those three guys down there gridded and ready to go, and Simmons warms up the tyres on the back of that BMW Z4 as we're almost ready to get the track clear. Ricky Lawrence's car on the back of the recovery track. Now, work to be done for those guys. They've got quite a wait. We've got quite a few drivers to get through before Ricky Lawrence has to be back out on circuit. But nevertheless, we've seen a lot of guys drop out of competition. We lost Hugh Saville, big impact to the wall in practice. Neil Dunn. Let me tell you, Neil Dunn, he did 3 runs, and every single run he done on the track, he broke the car. He made contact with the wall, broke the car.
Not really ideal, is it?
Not ideal. We lost Ross Barr. Unfortunately, Ross Barr making big contact with the wall earlier on. Stephen Fitzgerald dropped out of competition. Unfortunately, Louis Edwards couldn't compete. He took the championship yesterday, the Pro-Am championship,
Amazing.
but he couldn't compete for today. He said, maybe it's best if I don't.
Well, walk away on a high, I guess.
I think that's it.
Just walk away on a high.
Do you know the biggest problem? Drifters never know when to do that. It's always, let's just go for one more run.
Yeah, just one more run.
One more run, and that's when everything goes wrong. So
might be quite a sensible decision then.
Quit
while you're ahead,
Louis.
Louis.
You mean we've found a sensible drifter in Louis Edwards?
Well, maybe.
So Louis Edwards will sit it out, and yeah, congratulations to Louis Edwards for taking the 2019 British Drift Championship Pro-Am Championship. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you are here in attendance, we will be partying tonight once again in the big gazebo. We're going to have an awards ceremony where we'll be handing out all of our trophies to all of our drivers, our most improved driver, our fans driver. We'll be giving out all the trophies, and celebrations are happening in that tent, and then the generic white guy Luke Paul will be in there DJing the night away, and you can come and party with all the crew, all the drivers, have some real fun. And then tomorrow, well, it's Battle Royale. We'll talk about that after this run from Adam Simmons as he comes off the line. And Simmons brings all that wealth of knowledge and experience here at the circuit. Can he make it play out right now in qualifying? Very nice line through the middle of the circuit, carrying a lot of speed as he comes nice and close to the wall, and Simmons feeling at home here on this local circuit. And Simmons navigates his way down past the judging tower. Back up onto the wall he goes in that outside zone. In the back end of that BMW, nice and close to the wall, dials on the angle and fires in to the roundabout. Squeezes the accelerator and unleashes all of that V8 power.
Adam Simmons makes it look effortless, doesn't it? It looked like he's just out for a Sunday drive there.
I was going to say it is a Sunday drive, but it's not, it's a Saturday drive.
It's Saturday, I know. See, I told you, we don't know what day
is
it
going
is.
on?
We don't know what day it is. Normally we're Saturday, Sunday event, and we're Friday, Saturday, Sunday event, so we're all thrown out, aren't we?
We certainly are. 73 though drops in for Adam Simmons, puts him in 7th position at the moment, and then we move it along to the top 3 in the championship. Up first it will be Oliver Evans, the design engineer from Chester in Cheshire, running this Nissan S14.52 JZ under the bonnet, 700 horsepower. Representing VP Racing Fuels, Link ECU, Aleco Drift, JDM Garage, DY Engine Services, Washloo, APW Engineering, Westlake Tyres, Pro Tuner and Mike Higo Visuals. He says his claim to fame is that he drove it at Bisu in 2016. And Oliver Evans, that car looking very battered and bruised after a hard practice session. And nevertheless, Oliver Evans absolutely screaming through the circuit at the moment as he gets that car nice and close to the wall there on that transition. He's going to drop away ever so slightly though. You see him dabbing the foot brake, trying to get the back bumper nice and close to the wall. Makes his way in to the roundabout, little dab of the handbrake, sets himself up for a nice clean entry and exit of the roundabout. And there we go, Oliver Evans puts down his first qualifying run of the day.
And the judges are just going to drop their score, and it looked like a pretty good run from Oliver Evans there. And I can just see that Ian's looking at that last blueberry muffin. Thanks, Rat Trapas. he's looking at that muffin and he's just, are you going to share it?
No chance. Oh. There we go, a 74 drops in for Oliver Evans. A 74 puts him in 6th position at the moment. A very nice run there. We move it along to these two guys, the last two guys to run in qualifying. First up will be Martin Wonnacott.
I'm excited about this.
Martin Wonnacott looking very good in practice. You can see he's been getting that car dialed in because there is nothing left at the back end of that car. From South Devon, running this Toyota Chaser JZX101 JZ under the bonnet, 700 horsepower. Smoked himself out warming up the tyres, so he needed a little bit of assistance there from our start line Marshall Malks, representing Pro Tuner, KC Fabrications, Dell Performance, Figs Motorsport, Wharton Motorsport, Volkscraft, VIP Racing and Exo Racing. And he says he's really not sure what's going on this season. Martin Wonnacott has been flying and he has had a year-long rivalry with Aramis Vaskelis. Well, can that be put to bed this weekend? Can Martin Wonnacott prove who he is? Can he top qualifying? He's going to certainly try to. Drops down off the wall ever slightly, but puts on big angle. Popping some flames out of the bonnet for those external wastegates. As Wonnacott slams the accelerator and takes that Pro Drift Academy Toyota Chaser across the line.
Yeah, strong run from Martin Wonnacott there. Now he is really going to be focused this weekend.
Yeah, Wonnacott looking focused and determined as ever. And he'll just be hoping that the car holds together and that he can get a clean weekend and, not too much. There we go, look at that, an 83 for Martin Wonnacott, drops him into 2nd position at the moment, and what a statement from Wonnacott. And if that is not a statement, I don't know what it is. He throws that score on the board and then says to Vaskelis, what do you got?
Yeah.
What have you got?
Come on.
We know that car is not 100%. We know you've suffered some problems. But let me tell you, Vaskelis was flying earlier on today in practice. Can he recreate some of those incredible runs? Well, the mechanic from East London driving this BMW E46 M3 as a B32 under the bonnet S54 turbo. As Vaskelis gets nice and close to the wall. And now that cloud of smoke starts to erupt from the back end of this car. 1,000 horsepower, torturing the tyres, but Vaskelis slows down too much and finds himself on the inside of the circuit there. Has to readjust his line to pick up that front clipping point. Back on the throttle he goes once again, and now Vaskelis starts to throw up a smoke screen. Nobody here can see what's going on, but there's a big error. And you can see a big understeer there from Aramis Vaskelis. As Vaskelis squeezes the throttle on the left foot brake, trying to get that car position where he wants it. He throws it in almost backwards. He just about pulls off that line round a roundabout and makes some noise. Buxton for your current championship and points leader, Aramis Vaskelis.
Can't actually see him anymore through that smoke. So I'm going to assume that was a pretty good run. He made a couple of errors though.
There was a couple of errors.
Yeah, a couple of errors.
So Vaskelis, look, he scrubbed off a lot of speed as he headed down onto the wall, put him on the inside line, and then as he come back through the circuit, back up onto the wall, he had like a moment of understeer, and the car looked like he had to really work to get it back on angle. Score drops in, and it's not a good one for Vaskelis. As Ryan drops his score in a 61 for Vaskelis, so not the first qualifying run that he would have wanted as we go back to the beginning. And yeah, the nerds in the van just saying that if Vaskelis gets himself into the final today, he has took the 2019 Pro Championship.
So if he's in the final four, regardless of where he comes in the final four, he's took the championship. Wow.
No, he has to take today. I think he has to get in the final itself.
Yeah. As long as he's in
the final,
yeah.
he's won the championship. So there we go. Information, we're going to relay that information to you all day as soon as we find out what's going on and where the points are laying. We're going to let you guys know as we see Cole Farrar now, the part-time rock star, make his way to the start line.
I wonder what he's listening to today.
AC/DC 110%. Yep, nothing else but AC/DC. He'll be pounding away in that car. So Cole Farrar, 73 on his first qualifying run, come out with a bit of a statement, the Pro-Am driver, showing these pros that having that experience and getting all that seat time this weekend, proving fruitful as he fires down very nice line as he gets nice and close to the wall, picks up that front clipping point. Cole Farrar, I'm going to put it out there right now and say this is going to be a very consistent score. It's going to be very similar to his first one. Dials on big angle, lets that car wash, and a big clutch kick to try and stick it to the wall. Just wanders away ever so slightly though from the outside zone. Gets himself into the roundabout, hardly any lifting, arm out the window, showing his appreciation to the crowd. There we go, Buxton, Cole Farrar.
He's out there to have some fun today for sure, and he loves to entertain the crowd and put on a show. I reckon that was a pretty perfect run. He could have been a little bit close to some of the walls, but I reckon that was pretty high. And it looks like it is going to drop in just a little bit higher than his first one. Yeah, so he's in 5th position with 78 for his second qualifying run.
So there we go, 78 for his second qualifying run. That's a statement for Cole Farrar.
He'll be well happy with that.
Very happy indeed.
And I'm happy because you've just shared that muffin.
I was hoping you wouldn't tell anyone because it makes me out to be a bit of a softie.
Sorry, I'll pretend that you didn't.
So Stu Jones comes off the line in this crazy V8 Turbo S14. And Stu Jones representing Comp Clutch, Ram Air Filters, Fuchs Oil and Kurt. And Stu Jones on some borrowed time this weekend, said he's having some fun flying around and looking to make a mess again of this Pro Championship. Well, he's made a mess of the car, Sarah, because it didn't look like this when he turned up on Friday morning, that's for sure.
No, it was a little bit cleaner, wasn't it?
It was, certainly was. Up. So right now, Stu Jones making it happen, gets himself into the roundabout. You can see him just dabbing a little bit of left foot brake there, keeping that car exactly where he wants it to be as he takes that across the line. And two very nice runs there from Stu Jones.
Very nice run. From where I'm sat, I reckon he should have bettered his first one slightly, but we'll see what the judges say. They'll be looking at a lot of detail and possibly things that I'll be missing watching it. So it's 22nd at the moment. Yeah, it looks like he has bettered it. Put him in 14th with 64 on his second qualifying run for Stu Jones.
Yeah, jumps himself way up the order there to Stu Jones, and we go back to the start line to Luke Barker. So Luke Barker, we're at 59. Another guy will be looking to climb himself up the order. These are just Pro-Am drivers.
Are these you said that, yeah? Just Pro-Ams, and look where they are. It's absolutely brilliant the way they've got this weekend.
So Luke Barker gets the back end of that 350Z to the wall. Coming out swinging this time is Luke Barker. And he knows that if he isn't pushing that car 100%, he's not going to get himself a spot in qualifying. As he now begins to smoke out Buxton Raceway. Comes down, back up onto the wall again. You can see him just let that car wash and get him on and off the throttle, kicking the clutch, getting himself set up. Gets himself nicely dialed into the roundabout on the throttle. Goes Luke Barker and across the line, and a very good job there. Very
good job indeed. It's brilliant to see Luke Barker out there getting that car working as it should and doing what it should for him. It must be so rewarding after the troubles he's had this year. It's brilliant to see him getting in some good runs.
Well, there we go. Look at this, a big score coming in from Luke Barker. And jumps himself way up the order in with a 71, but not enough to get himself inside that top 8. Just goes to show you how high the scores are going to be this weekend. And we go back to the line for Willie Hanna now. Willie Hanna, the Renewables Q&M manager from Limvady. RB25 under the bonnet's 562 horsepower, and as I mentioned earlier, Willie Hanna causing that big upset yesterday, taking Josh King out of competition, and wow, Willie Hanna puts the back end of that car 90 degrees to the wall. Had to back out ever so slightly. I think he scared himself there. He gets back into it. He can really work in that car now. A little dab of the foot brake gets nice and deep into the outside zone. He's going to pick up that front clipping point. Absolutely perfect at the moment from Willie Hanna. Throws more angle at it as he gets himself to the wall. And down through past the judging tower. You see him shallow up the angle, trying to get that car to wash up onto that ever so slightly banked section. Dabbing the foot brake, the highest we've seen as he takes the boot lid off the car. Keeps in it. Can Willie Hanna make this one count? Squeezes the throttle, kicks the clutch, and across the line. Buxton shows some appreciation for Willie Hanna.
That is a man that means business this weekend, isn't it? Absolutely making the most of every opportunity he's got on track this weekend. That was brilliant. Commitment. So we'll just get the next lot of drivers out onto track, and the previous 4 off the track, and so 74 dropping in there for Willie Hanna for that run.
Yep, sorry, just had to jump up and have a word
he's
there
back,
with Matt Stevenson. Yep.
So just 74 Willie Hanna got there. That was better in his first run, well deserved. That was really good, committed run. And I guess he'll be collecting his boot lid as well on the way out.
Committed is an understatement.
Isn't it just, yeah.
Ripped the back end off the car on the wall. Very good stuff there from Willie Hanna. It just goes to show you that it's the end of the season and he doesn't care anymore.
A few drivers are taking that attitude this weekend, and I like it. It's cool. So yeah, they're kind of going, right, well, you know, we've done this, we've done that. What can we do now? We're going to just basically have to give it our all this weekend.
Well, Josh King, he did give it 90% in his first qualifying run. He scored himself a 78. What can he do on his second? Another driver who gets nice and close to the wall, just drops down once he gets out on the outside zone. And through the middle of the circuit comes Josh King right now. Finished 4th in the championship yesterday, and Josh King will be looking to try and reclaim some fame and get himself back onto a podium. As he lets that car wash nice and high, it gets very close to the wall there very early on from Josh King. Gets that car down onto the roundabout. He's going to be very wide here. He drops a wheel over the edge of the circuit. That white line denoting the edge of track limits, and you can see him almost shut it down before the end of the track there.
Another strong run from Josh, though, showing his true driving capabilities. One wheel, Ian, is that allowed? Are they going to mark him down for that?
They will mark him down for it, but it won't be like, a 0 for sure. Yeah, and you can see they are reflected in that score. For Josh King, a 65, so he stays where he is in 6th place with a 78. He'll be happy with that for the moment. As we move it back to the start line, and I've just been told a piece of information that's very, very detrimental for the championship.
Interesting.
Keep that one to a secret for ourselves.
Okay,
Off
right.
the line, Paul Cunnington. 2nd place on the podium last night. He'll be looking to replicate that. This SP Performance Nissan 200SX S14.5. And Paul Cunnington yesterday putting on some seriously good qualifying runs, scored a 90 in the Pro-Am Championship. Look at this from Cunnington, gets very deep into the wall, and a nice fast pass down the bottom end of the circuit for Paul Cunnington as he transitions past the judging tower, gets that car back up onto the wall again. Look at the speed and the angle he throws at that as he gets himself very close to the wall. Paul Cunnington not afraid of this steel ring here at Buxton. Gets himself into the roundabout. Cunnington absolutely flying. This is incredible for Paul Cunnington as he takes it to the line. A round of applause for the judges. Buxton, show your appreciation for the Pro-Am driver.
Yeah, Paul Cunnington there just showing exactly why he was 2nd on the podium yesterday with runs like that. Brilliant. So we're just waiting for the judges' scores to drop in. They're discussing a couple of points, but we've got a round of applause at the end there, and that is dropping in as a really, really high score with a 90 for Paul Cunnington, so he's currently 1st in qualifying.
Wow, look at that. Paul Cunnington drops in a 90 and replicates that qualifying score from yesterday. It just goes to show you these guys are on form. We go back to the start line to the man who took the top step on the podium yesterday. Team locked and loaded, Martin Cowley. We got any Martin Cowley fans in the house? When he's off the line, he scored an 80 on his first qualifying run. He would have seen that from Cunnington and said, can I beat it? Can I replicate it? Well, he's off of that wall so far. He needs to work this one. He needs to massage that car into the crease and onto the wall. as he comes down through the centre of the circuit very fast and very wide. Now, is he going to sacrifice that front clipping point? No, he's not, because he's going to throw all the angle at it to keep that car flowing. As Cowley stands on the throttle, past the judging tower, back up onto the wall again, locking up nearly all four wheels to get that car perfectly onto the wall. And look at Martin Cowley, puts the back end of that car onto the wall and now fires down into the roundabout, keeps that consistent throttle use going, smokes up the back end of that car and across the line. Incredible stuff.
Absolutely incredible, and I think that's got to be giving Paul Cullington a run in his second qualifying score there. That has got to be dropping in as a high run. Martin Cowley is like a man possessed his championship, isn't he?
He certainly is. Well, you're not wrong, Sarah. There we go, an 87 from Martin Cowley, puts him in second position. And there we go, 2 Pro-Ams, first and second in Pro qualifying. Wow, that just goes to show you the level of our Pro-Am drivers this year. We move it along back to the line to Matt Carter. Well, he was top in qualifying, and his spotters would have been on the radio saying, buddy, what are you doing? Because there's 2 Pro-Ams top in qualifying at the moment.
Yeah, he's going to have to bring something now.
He certainly is, yeah. The paint and decorator from London driving this Nissan Skyline R32. 2JZ under the bonnet, representing Garage D, Boost Race Fuel. And he is the only 2-time British Drift Championship. Mike Carter comes in very hot, puts the back end of that car on the wall all the way around for Matt Carter as he stays in it. Wow, look at Matt Carter right now. Absolutely flying as he tags the wall down the bottom end of the circuit. Matt Carter is coming with a statement this weekend. Can he tag the wall again? He can! As Matt Carter throws everything he's got at this, he gets back onto the wall again. Puts the back end of that Nissan Skyline all the way along the wall. Wow! Matt Carter is absolutely flying. No regard to the back of this car. He sticks it to the wall with an arm out the window. Buxton makes some noise.
Unbelievable run. I mean, that has to top qualifying. That was absolutely outstanding. Full commitment. I just don't know how he did not get himself dragged into that wall. That was absolutely amazing driving from Matt Carter there.
That was.
Is your voice okay?
It's going to have to be, because I've got to do today and tomorrow. Yeah. Wow, that was phenomenal. Well, he currently sits third in qualifying. Where does Matt Carter's second qualifying run score drop in? We await for the judges to drop the scores in a big one coming in. It's a 99-point run! Wow! Are you serious? Brad McQueen, just quickly. That was incredible.
What just happened? I think for the first time this season, that has been the first time we've been able to score that high to 99, and what a phenomenal run. There was a marginal error that caused the 1-point change, but between us 3 of us, that's the most amazing run we've seen this season. What a show.
What a show indeed. You know what, I tell you, if you bought tickets to come this weekend, you did the right thing. You didn't stay indoors and say, I'm going to leave that one. You did the right thing by coming down, because what a show that was. And that is, and I can confirm, the highest qualifying run we've ever seen this season. So wow, Matt Carter pulling it all out of the bag.
Amazing.
We move it along.
Amazing.
Back to the start line we go. We've got to keep the action flowing here at the final round of the British Drift Championship. Willie Rose now comes off the line, and an 82. And you know what, these drivers will be getting the information from the spotters saying, look, these guys ain't messing around. They're throwing up 90-point runs, 99-point runs. Can anybody put in that perfect qualifying run? Well, we're about to find out. As we see Willie Rose very fast for the middle of the circuit. Look at that, 90 degrees to the wall there. That back end of that little BMW compact already got some marks appearing on it. As Willie Rose makes his return to the British Drift Championship after some time out. Wow, look at that from Willie Rose. He rubs the back end of that car along the wall on transition. Foot absolutely pinned, hardly any lifting as he makes his way into the roundabout. And another driver putting it all on the line. Willie Rose, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely fantastic run from William Rose there. That is a completely different type of driving, a completely different type of car that we've just seen from Matt Carter. But you can just see, if the driving is right, anyone can put in a brilliant run. Insane stuff, absolutely insane stuff from our pro drivers. And look at this, a big score dropping in for Willie Rose. Can he beat an 82 of his first qualifying run? And there we go, he certainly can. An 86 moves Willie Rose into 4th position at the moment. Go back to the start line to Lewis Mitchell. He currently sits with a 0 after that de-beaded tyre on his first qualifying run. So all to play for now and everything to do. Can he get himself a place in qualifying? Can he get inside that top 24? With the carpenter from Long Sutton in Lincolnshire on this 1JZ Nissan S14, 560 horsepower.
His family not too unfamiliar to these oval racing tracks. His father and grandfather, heroes in oval racing, but can Lewis Mitchell do them proud this weekend and get himself a spot on the podium? Well, he's going to try everything he can this final round as Mitchell fires that car up to the wall. Scrubs some speed though and gets himself dropped down on the bank, just doesn't manage to get as high up as what we'd like to see. But right now Lewis Mitchell will be saying, I just need to put a clean pass of the circuit in and get a high enough score to get inside top 24 competition.
That's it, he just needs to get a score on the board and hopefully get himself inside that top 24. I've seen him drive a lot stronger than that, but maybe he's just trying to put in a safe run and get a score on the board. Hopefully he's done enough to do that. We'll find out in just a second when the judges' scores drop in.
Well, it does look like he is going to get a score. Is it enough for top 24? That'll be the question. No, it's not. And Lewis Mitchell unfortunately bows out of competition, and judges very disheartened there. Even the look on their faces were like, look, it just wasn't enough, unfortunately. So that will be the end of the year for Lewis Mitchell there. We move it back to the start line. Nathan Chivers, well, he come out swinging a 71. Very relaxed earlier on when we had a word with him, and he said these oval tracks scared him after he had a big impact in Wimbledon many years ago, and he said, I've just got to put all that behind me and know that I can do it. I can put this car on the line. He comes absolutely flying through the middle of the circuit, takes out that clipping point. He's going to get very tidy to the wall there. Nice line from Nathan Chivers. Picks up that front clipping point, and Nathan Chivers again bringing it all to play at the final round of the championship. He does drop that outer zone there in front of the judging table. They would have picked up on that one as it's right in front of where they're sitting. Chivers doesn't get onto the outside zone. Oh, and a big mistake there from Chivers as he finishes up that run and coming down into the roundabout. Can he tidy up the rest of it as he brings it across the line? And do you know what? The last couple of mistakes just kind of creeping into that run.
Yeah.
I think that's going to hurt his score enough to not beat that first qualifying run.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there. Yeah, that's dropping in.
30 for Nathan Chivers. He stays where he is in 13th position. It looks like he is safe for competition later on. Go back to the start line. We see Julie Robinson warming up her tyres. The only one of our female pro drivers.
I'm loving it. I love there's a female in there. We need a few more of you. Come on.
It could be your new campaign, Sarah.
It could do. If someone lends me a car, I'll have a go. I don't think I'll be anywhere near Julie's level, but you know, I'll give it a go anyway.
You can give it a go. You're not using mine though, that's for sure.
Oh, okay.
So there we go, the battered and bruised back end of Julie Robinson's Nissan Skyline. All sounded like a little misfire there, but she clutch kicked it to get it through. Julie Robinson saying, I'm not backing out now. Final round all year, all off season to fix this car. I've already removed the back end. It's looking tired. Oh, look at that. Julie Robinson scraping the back end of Nissan Skyline on the wall. She makes that nice transition down very deep into the outside zone. And Julie Robinson going to have to bring the front of that car into that front clipping point, and she does it absolutely perfectly. Comes down, you can hear that car screaming as Julie Robinson puts foot to floor and uses every single bit of horsepower that it's got under the bonnet, just 300 horsepower, and Robinson making it work right now. As she looks for the final turn of the roundabout, a little dab of the handbrake, sets herself up nicely, and a big clutch kick. Across the line goes Julie Robinson.
I tell you what, that was a really, really tidy run, little arm out the window from Julie there. She must have been happy with that one. She's on form this weekend. That should be a good score dropping in for her. So 66 in her first run. Has she managed to get a higher score in the second?
I think it is, yeah.
She has.
The cheeky little wall run would have been rewarded by the judges.
So. And she drops in at a 73.
So there we go, a 73 for Julie Robinson, moves her into 12th position, and she'll be very, very happy with that one as we get those guys off circuit and get the next 4 contestants in. So don't forget, once qualifying is over, we'll be back at 6 o'clock for our top 24 competition. The sun would have gone down by then, the lights will be on, music will be pumping.
We're back on the night shift.
And we'll be back on the night shift, the graveyard shift for me and Sarah.
I'll tell you what, the atmosphere was unbelievable last night, so I can't imagine what it's going to be like tonight.
Well, it's going to be something spectacular and something not to miss as Hayden Cruikshank now makes his way out for his second qualifying run. That battered and bruised Toyota Cresta JZX81 looking very tired and destroyed after a hard year of driving. Hayden Cruikshank said nothing to lose, might as well go out there and throw it all on the line. This car having a big impact to the wall earlier on in practice and having to ratchet strap the chassis rails apart, ratchet strap the wing rail back into place so they could even get the bonnet to shut and the wheel not to hit it. Incredible scenes in the paddock earlier as everyone frantically trying to repair this car, and it looks like the steering maybe have been slightly fettled in that time between his first qualifying run, because Hayden Cruikshank puts down a very nice second qualifying run there.
fantastic. I hope that's bettered his first score. He was putting in a nice 58 in his first run, so I'm amazed at the effort that the team have put in down there to get him back out on track, because I didn't think he was going to make it out at all.
Well, look at this. He's on the danger zone at the moment. He's currently sitting in 21st position with a 58, and we have got a few guys out, so not looking good for Hayden Cruikshank. He needs to jump way up the order, and it looks like it's going to be a very similar score to his first qualifying run. Yeah, Judge is not liking that one as he drops in at 52, so he stays where he is at 21st position at the moment. We move it back to the start line to this man, Dave Egan, the voice of Irish drifting. So Dave Egan comes off the line in this Sunoco Racing Mobil 1 Funk Motorsport 180SX SR20 under the bonnet, 500 horsepower. Egan saying nothing to lose. The back of this car absolutely battered from a hard year in the Drift Games Extreme Championship. Get close to the wall. There goes David Egan. And can he be the one now to start tagging some walls? He would have watched that qualifying run from this car and said, this is how you do it, buddy. So Dave Egan gets himself nice and high up on the bank, puts the back end of that car to the wall, throws on big angle as he heads down into the roundabout, jab of the handbrake, sets himself up nicely, foot to floor on a big clutch kick as he takes it across the line. And Dave Egan on a very nice run.
Yeah, he likes to put on a show, Dave Egan, doesn't he? And he's certainly done that there, smoking out the grandstand. 63 in his first run. It's definitely dropping in higher, and so it should be for that one. We're just waiting for the last score to drop in from our judge Ryan to get, there we go, 86, putting him in 5th position.
So there we go. Dave Egan moves himself up the order. We go back to the start line to Ollie Elmore. So Elmore sits with a 53 at the moment, so we'll be way down the order. We'll be close to that drop zone. As we mentioned, Ollie Elmore having an absolutely nightmare for the last couple of weeks. Destroyed the engine in this car, destroyed the turbo, broke the gearbox. He said everything he took off this car after the round 5 in Buxton was broken. He said he spent every single penny, everything he's got to get this car back together. He's worked countless evenings and long nights and long days to get this car together, and here for the final round of the British Drift Championship. And he said, after all that, I'm going to sell it. And he takes the spoiler off the wall. He was going to put it backwards into the wall. Goes Ollie Elmore.
You're disappointed for him, aren't you? After
You're
all the
heartbroken.
effort, after all the effort you've seen him put in. I mean, every kind of layer he took off the engine to try and repair, he found more and more problems with it and ended up doing basically an entire rebuild.
Ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation, Ollie Elmore. This guy literally putting everything on the line, and you know what, a shout out to his girlfriend Jodie as well, because she has been to hell and back living with this man.
I bet she hasn't seen him for the last 3 weeks.
He walked in one day and she was like, there's a burglar in my house, and she rang the police.
Because she doesn't know who he is anymore.
Well, look at that big damage to the back end of Ollie Elmore's car. So he currently sits with a 53. We're not sure if that's enough to see him inside competition. I'm hoping he is. I'm going to say he's way down the order in, the low 20s. The low 20s.
Yeah, I think he might have just done enough.
Can he hang in there? Well, the team back in the paddock will be ready to fix that car. Ollie Elmore and Nathan Chivers, teammates this year, partnership up with Hell Performance and Westlake Tyres, and Ollie Elmore in that car already talking to the crew in the paddock saying, this is what we need, these are the bits that's broken.
Yeah.
The back end, the bodywork, don't worry about that, we just need to get the 4 wheels pointing in the same place.
So just while we wait for Ollie to get the car sorted and off there, we can see if you can see yourselves on the camera, they're all waving now. We'll say a quick thank you to our sponsors, because they are so valued and so important to the championship. Without all of the sponsors, we could not put on these amazing events. So we'll just say a quick thank you to Corbo Seats, Tarmac Sports, Hell Performance, OBP Motorsport, Yellow Speed Racing, Slide Motorsport, Excite Energy, AM Details, Funk Motorsport, M-Tech Brakes, and we've just got a couple more that are sliding across the bottom of our live feed there. We've got Samco Sport, Simpson Racing Products, and Competition Clutch as well.
Yeah, so without those guys, we wouldn't be able to put on this live feed and bring you guys to show and put on a show. And as we mentioned earlier, when the lights go down here at Buxton, this place turns into an incredible stage for drifting. And just last night we see some incredible stuff.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And you know what?
Amazing.
I'm getting that feeling already that we're going to see a similar kind
We're
of
like excited,
show.
aren't we?
Yeah.
We're waiting for the sun to go down. Yesterday we were kind of like, oh no, it's going to get really cold. We were freezing up here, weren't we? And we were like, oh god, the sun's going to go down, we're going to be freezing. But you know what? The atmosphere just lit it up, and it's going to be exactly the same tonight.
So we're just waiting to get Ollie Elmore's car recovered off the circuit. Yeah, and he was going to try and drive it, but track marshal was saying no, there's too much damage on the back of that car. He's going to have to get it recovered, unfortunately.
AM Details, one of our sponsors there, you can go and grab some stuff from our merch tent. It's at the back of the grandstand.
Certainly can, yeah. Merch tent opposite where me and Sarah and the judges are in the judging tower. In the grandstand, go down there and see Nicola and Phoebe. They will hook you up with, t-shirts, hoodies,
beanies.
hats,
Oh, I tell you what, the
AMD
beanies are warm.
detail products.
Yeah.
Yes, we've got it all going on down there. Don't forget as well, if you head down into the paddock, you can go and visit Walton Motorsport, pick yourselves up, external wastegate or a blower valve from Turbo Smart.
Yeah, shiny parts. They've got some cool t-shirts down there as well.
Have they got some cool
they've got some awesome stuff down there, Walton Motorsport stand. And the Rat Trap RC guys as well. You can go and have a little go at the miniature drifting if that's more your thing. It's probably more my thing.
It's safer for you reckon?
It's cheaper.
It's a lot cheaper. Anyone who's got a drift car will tell you that anything other than drifting is cheaper.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So you can see our recovery driver. He's been doing double duty this weekend. He's been absolutely flat out.
Has he not stopped?
He has not stopped all weekend. And our recovery guy has been on point every single time we've needed him to recover a car. And as I say, as soon as we get Ollie Elmore's car recovered off the circuit, we will be ready to rock and roll. Don't forget, 6 o'clock we'll be back live with our top 24 competition. And these guys are going to do battle in the dark under the lights here at Buxton. So those guys are going to make their way off the circuit, and then we'll get on another 4 contenders and get those guys gridded up.
Yeah, once the sun goes down here, we've got a lot of lighting going on now. It's not just any ordinary lighting, it's pretty cool. So we've partnered up with a couple of different events companies this weekend. We've got the Sterling Event Group, which are providing the pyro, smoke machines and the stereo system as well for us this year, and all the lighting. And then we've got phenomenal fireworks as well. So we'll also have a little firework display later on as well when it gets dark, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah, we had a really good firework display last night.
Yeah, it was awesome. Awesome it was.
So we're going to do the same tonight. We're going to let some fireworks off. Then we're going to head over to that big white gazebo behind the bar area, and we are going to hand out our 2019 trophies to all of our drivers, and we'll get that done and dusted. And then once that's done and dusted, we're going to turn the lights off, and DJ Luke Paul is going to party the night away.
The generic white guy. He's brilliant. Didn't he used to resident at Pasha?
In London,
he was
yeah,
awesome.
until it closed.
Yeah, until it closed. He's wicked. He was putting out some real awesome tunes last night. Everybody was up dancing.
Well, let me tell you a secret. I said I'm not going to really party on Friday night. I'm going to have an easy one because we're going to party hard on Saturday night. And
was it a lie?
I ended up partying hard last night, and then apparently I've been told that I can't go home tonight. I have to party hard again tonight.
It's a difficult job.
I tell you what, this
Someone's
is a tough gig. This is a tough gig. This is. So Ollie Elmore's car almost being dragged up onto the back of that recovery truck. As you can see, Christian Burkhoff's car there, alongside Mike Walton's S13. Can also see down there Scott Cartledge and Robin Neeson. Those guys gridded up, ready to do their second qualifying runs of the day in that car, proving a bit of a task to unload. To load, sorry.
Yeah,
unload, load.
That's it. It doesn't look that bad from here, but when you get down there, you'll see, there's a whole load of components spent there. It's not necessarily an easy job. Got to get that on there as best they can so the guys can get it into the pits and have a look and see if they can get it in any kind of straight shape again.
Yeah, those guys are going to really have their work cut out, try and get that car repaired. And as you can see, the paddock down there stacked out with Pro and Pro-Am drivers, and Martin Wonacott's absolutely battered and bruised. Pro Drift Academy Toyota Chaser. So Ollie Elmore's car proving a bit of a task for our recovery crew, not making it easy this weekend, but looks like we are on the truck.
It's getting there, isn't it?
Great success, and we are ready to get Ollie Elmore off the circuit, back into the paddock, and then we'll be clear to go and clear to send the last couple of guys for their second qualifying runs. Yeah, up next will be Alistair Sutton. So I do believe Alistair Sutton's just sitting behind the start line, eagerly awaiting his qualifying run. As Sarah eats a sandwich, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to grass her up. I'm a bit of a grass today.
That's because you wouldn't share your muffin.
So Sarah is eating a sandwich. I'll go hungry. It's fine.
I offered you some.
No, it's fine. I'll go hungry. It's not a problem. It's been a long year. I know how it is now.
Oh, is that it?
Yep.
We found our relationship dynamic
we
now.
found the boundaries of the relationship now. You eat all your food and I don't get anything.
Well, I think that's got to be a lie, isn't it, really? There's a whole bag full of snacks down here if you want, you know.
I'm working. I can't eat. You know. There's a designated lunchtime.
Is there
and
really?
now is not it, Sarah.
Oh, well, everyone else is having a sandwich. We have sandwich fights now.
So Ollie Olmoscar on the truck and ready to go, and you can see a very nervous Mike Wharton there sitting in S13, pulling a very funny face to the camera. These guys will be sitting there on their phones, watching the live stream, watching exactly what's going on, seeing what the hold-up is, trying to work out why they're not, putting the qualifying runs in.
Yeah, that's it.
Cartilage.
They're sat there not really knowing what's happening on track, are they, sometimes? You know, they're kind of sat there. They can only see a little bit from where they are sat in their car ready to go, and they're focused. They're maybe not even looking at the other drivers. Sometimes they might be just like, look, I don't want to see. I just need to keep in my zone and do what I can do when I get out there.
Yeah, it just needs to be focused and composed, and I know what I've got to do. And qualifying very, very tough for a lot of our drivers, and I know it gets to a lot of people's heads sometimes. And it looks like we are ready to go. Ollie Olmoscar safely recovered off the circuit as we warm up the tyres on the back end of Alistair Sutton's Nissan S14 BMW 4-litre V8 underneath the bonnet, 280 horsepower. Finished the 2018 Pro-Am Championship in 3rd place. And Alistair Sutton straight off the line, ready to go for his 2nd qualifying run of the day. And the man from Surrey fires in nice and deep into the outside zone. You can see him just using the left foot brake to get that car perfectly on that line. He's going to shallow up though massively through the centre of the circuit. You see that car bogged down ever so slightly and almost jump as he gets on that wrong line. So judges would have took that into consideration. And Alistair Sutton sets himself up for a nice wall run. Can he get nice and close? He does, but he has to wash away from it. You can see that banked corner there. It doesn't look like it on the live stream, and it's only until you go down on the circuit and you stand and look, and it is at ever so slight angle, and it is banked, and it does force these cars away from the wall. So when you see him on the wall, running the back bumper, they're really pushing. So Alistair Sutton finished up that run. Not sure if that's going to better his first qualifying score of a 48.
I don't know if it was, because it looked like
he sits in 24th as well. So
it looked like he straightened up, to be fair, at the end. I don't know that's...
Judges liked it more than we did, Sarah. He jumps into 16th position with a 66. So Sutton moves himself up the order ever so slightly. We go back to the start line. We see Mike Wharton. Now, I need to clarify, was it a 0 on his first qualifying run? And it was a 0 on his first qualifying run. So Wharton now sits outside of top 24. He lent this car out yesterday to Matt Fountain. Matt Fountain broke his car, broke the gearbox in his Toyota Sora off the start line. And Mike Wharton lent this car out to Matt Fountain. Matt Fountain did everything he could to get it round, but with limited time behind the wheel, Matt Fountain failed to qualify. Now back in the hands of the man that built it and the man that knows how to throw it down. Mike Wharton gets behind the wheel and puts that car onto the wall. Mike Wharton said, I'm going to take the backlights out, because if not, there'll be nothing left of them by the end of this weekend. And Mike Wharton is absolutely flying right now. As Wharton gets up onto the wall, and he would have seen his very good friend Matt Carter put that car onto the wall, and Wharton said, let's see if I can replicate that. Let's see if I can do what my mate did. And he's going to try now. This is where it all went wrong last time, but this time it looks like Mike Wharton's going to put a clear pass of the circuit in. And a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
A round of applause from the judges up here in the tower for that run from Mike Wharton. That was absolutely fantastic run. That is more what we used to see, and not that little error he made earlier that unfortunately messed up and got a 0 for him. So that should hopefully score high. He was nice and wide up to the walls. Yes, and it's dropping in as a very high score from the judges with an 89, putting him in 3rd position in qualifying.
So there we go, an 89 from Mike Wharton. He jumps up the order, and I do believe that is going to push Alistair Sutton out of top 24.
It might well do.
We go back to the start line. We see Christian Burkhoffs. Well, he's sitting safe in qualifying at the moment with a 74 in his first qualifying run. The Latvian representing drift4u.com. And Christian Burkhoffs featuring in a music video not long ago. And this car making its debut in that show. Look at this from Burkhoffs, nice and high on the bank, dabbing the foot brake, keeping that car on the wall as Burkhoffs drives through the smoke created by Mike Wharton. Oh, and he shallows himself up, misses that outside clipping point there on the back end of the roundabout. Burkhoffs needs to tidy this one up massively. And he wants to better that score of a 74, but he'll be confident in knowing he is in competition today. Now Christian Burkhoffs drops away from the wall ever so slightly, goes on some nice angle. Big handbrake drag and a big clutch kick. That supercharged LSX screams as he destroys the tyres on the back end of that car.
I don't know if that was enough to better his first run, but I tell you what, he always brings the show, doesn't he, to BDC. He just loves to smoke out the crowd and put on a really, really good drive. And it has bettered his score. He's got a little bit better there, 84, which is putting him in 7th position.
So Burkhoff's will be happy with that one. Drops himself into the top 8 qualifiers, which means he won't have to battle for a spot in top 16. He's already granted that option. Thumbs up from me and everybody else in the tower to send the next guy off the line. That will be Scott Cartledge. This 3UZ 4.3 litre V8 turbo S13 PS13 off the line. Cartledge at 63 on his first qualifying run. He'll be trying to better that one, but gets the car up there, but then wobbles and has to make his way back up once again to the wall. And Cartledge not as deep to that outside zone as what we'd like to see, but he's going to get very close to that wall there at the bottom end of the circuit. And a brave manoeuvre there from Scott Cartledge as he now starts to unleash 700 horsepower here at Buxton Raceway. Gets onto the wall, very nice job. Flames banging from the back end of that car as Cartledge puts the back bumper on the wall. And Scott Cartledge not messing around the final run of this. Big angle as he throws all the steering lock at it, destroying the tyres, and across the line goes Scott Cartledge.
Can't even see him anymore through that cloud of smoke. Yeah, absolutely brilliant run from Scott Cartledge there. And the scores are going to just drop in from the judges. 63 in his first run.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's going to be way up the order, but that's a very good run there from Scott Cartledge.
And they're dropping in high. Yeah, 79 for Scott Cartledge in second, putting him in 9th position, so that's just outside that safe 8 zone.
So there we go, Cartledge. Yeah, moves himself.
Yeah, nothing to be sniffed at.
No, way up the order, outside of that top 8 qualifier. So he will have to battle to get inside top 16. Move it along to Robin Neeson now, a 58. So I'm not sure if Neeson will be in or out. Oh, look at that, Neeson on the drop zone. Currently sits in 24th position with a 58. So
he's going to be feeling the pressure right now.
Yeah, Robin Neeson will really be feeling the pressure. 2JZ under the bonnet, 3.4 litre strokered engine, detuned to 800 horsepower in this ex-Kevin Quinn, Quinn's M Sport 180SX, built by the guys at Quinn M Sport, Joe Doyle and Kevin Quinn. And Robin Neeson trying to adapt that Dwayne McKeever-esque driving style as he clutch kicks and keeps the foot absolutely planted. But it's very shallow on some of these clipping points. It's kind of just not pushing the car as far out to the wall into these clipping points of what the judges would like to see. Does now make his way up to the top end of the bank there. Pops a wheel over the curb. He's just going to keep the wheels on the track as Neeson finishes up that run on the rev limiter.
Lovely strong run there from Robin Neeson, 58 in his first. I would like to think that one's bettered that score. We'll find out in just a moment that he's going to be feeling the pressure now. He's going to want that to be higher and get him in the safe zone, and it looks like it's going to be. And he's dropping in at 63, put him in 21st position, so that's a much better place to be.
Well, he's jumped up the order ever so slightly, but we do have a couple of guys sitting on. We have one guy sitting on a 0. And you know what? I think Robin Neeson's safe for competition as we look at the rest of the scores ahead. So I do believe, apart from one guy, everybody else has qualified inside top 24. So no surprise announcements yet. Maybe. There might be one to come, not sure. So up next will be Stefan Stefanov, that's 64 on his first run, the painter from Evesham in Worcestershire. 2JZ under the bonnet. Now last time he did this rolling burnout, he put so much smoke inside the car he had to stop for 2 minutes and let the smoke out.
That's the problem with this, isn't it? And the sideways as well.
Yep.
Most of the time.
And look at this, look, there he is, stopped dead on the circuit because he's filled the car with smoke again.
Can't see a thing.
Doors
open.
So Stefan Stefanov moves up to the line, gets the thumbs up from our start line Marshall Melks, and he is sent on his way for his second qualifying run. And Stefanov not scared to put this car on the wall to put on a show or try and claim as many points as he can, but he's down off that outside zone, manages to get his way up there at the end. You can see him shallowing out that angle to make sure he gets to the outside zone 3. Nice transition into 4 as he gets bang onto the wall for outside zone 5. He's going to pick up that front clipping point there on the inside of the circuit. Screaming through the middle of the circuit, absolutely destroying the rev limiter as he comes past the judging tower. Oh, and Stefanov gets in the wall. Oh, and snaps the wheel off the back of the car. He's going to try and stay in it, though, and the back wheel absolutely snapped off.
Yeah, wait till we get a better view of that on the camera, but that was so unlucky for Stefanov. It's so unfortunate. He was putting in a really strong run. He was fully committed, and he was, so
Ladies and gentlemen, as he gets out of the car, show your appreciation. Stefanov destroying the back end of his car just for your entertainment.
That's dedication, isn't it? It really
Stupidity,
is.
that's what it is, Sarah.
Yeah, okay. I was trying to be nice.
Absolute stupidity. Didn't see Ackley out there doing it, that's for sure. So Stefanov now will have to be recovered off the circuit. Once again, I do believe our recovery truck. Oh, here it comes, just in time, back onto the track.
He's earning his tea tonight, isn't he? Recovery driver.
He's going to put in some bill, isn't he, this weekend? He's a
oh, is it per job?
Per job.
He'll be making a fortune.
Don't tell Matt Stevenson, the owner, but apparently he told me last night in the bar it's per recovery.
Oh, well, that's going to be a nice
He was like, normally
surprise.
they average about £500 a go, so. Come here, steep old bill.
It certainly is this weekend, then.
So Stefanov there, we will get him recovered off the circuit, and then we have not got many drivers left to go. We do have just 6 drivers. Once Stefanov is recovered, we enter the top 6 in the championship. And there we go, we can take a look at the qualifying scores at the moment. Elmore out, Mitchell out, Ricky Lawrence out, but he broke his car in the first qualifying run, so they're down there trying to fix that car to get back out for his second qualifying run of the day. Cruikshank sits in the drop zone, but I do believe he is safe. Look at that, Bolton way down the order. Stefanov, Neeson, Jones all way down, looking to bump their scores up to get an easier ride. And there we go, the top end. The business end of the deal, Matt Carter taking first place in qualifying at the moment. Paul Cunnington, prime driver, sitting in second place in qualifying with a 90. So top 8 rounded out by Wonnacott at the moment. Wonnacott sits with an 83. And he'll be safe knowing that he's in that top 8, so he doesn't have to battle for top 16. But at the moment, as it stands, Vaskelis is outside of that top 8. So Vaskelis has got a battle in top 16 as it stands at the moment.
He's going to have to, if it stays like this, he's going to have to really work for that. And if he doesn't get through, he's opening the door for Wonnacott for the season, isn't he?
Well, I mean, Wonnacott gets kind of a bye all the way into the top 16, so he's ready to rock and roll. Lights get flicked on. Matt Stevenson put 50p in the meter there.
Yeah.
And Vaskelis will be sitting there thinking, I need to climb inside that top 8 qualifiers, because if I'm not, I'm kind of already handing some points away to Martin Wonnacott, and Martin Wonnacott is already one step ahead of me, and he has to battle them. And who knows who he's going to get?
Exactly. It's so random, isn't it? How you end up battling with another driver, and it could just go anywhere. There's no way to guess what's going to happen with that.
There's no guessing, because we're normally wrong.
Well,
or whatever you would predict would happen doesn't happen.
The opposite thing happens, or something that you never would even imagine happens.
Exactly that. So Stefanov's car gets recovering from the track. So we've got a camera down there on the circuit. Oh, we've got Matt down there. We've got Matt down there having a look at the car.
Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't got a camera down here, so I can't show you any of the damage. But the looks like the lower arm's completely snapped from where he's gone into the wall, just taking the major impact of that damage. But obviously the recovery guys just being absolutely incredible this weekend. And just working to get these cars off the track and get the action back and going. But full commitment from the drivers this weekend. I don't know whether Stefanov's going to get this back out, but these drivers and teams do make some miracles, so hopefully we'll see it back out. Thank you very much. Back to the tower.
So there we go, Stefanov's car suffering some serious damage, snapped the rear wheel clean off, broke the lower arm, so we know he's got a very good crew over there. They're going to try and get that car repaired, and you can see a very dejected Stefanov as he looks at the car, and these guys once again struggling to get it onto the back of the truck. Not easy when these guys are ripping wheels off, Sarah.
No, you kind of need them.
Kind of need
vital
need 4 wheels.
Yeah, no, it's a very difficult job, but these guys have been working hard out there this weekend, recovering.
Look at that,
cars.
even Matt House, our man on the ground, our track man, down there helping pull that car onto the recovery truck. So almost on, it's nearly on, it's teasing
Yeah,
us,
it's getting there. It's getting there. Yeah, this is the stage where you look and you think, yeah, that's it then. He's not going to be back out now. But I tell you what, the work these guys can put in the pits to get these cars back out and running, they know them inside out, don't they? They can get it stripped in 2 minutes. As long as they've got the parts there, they can repair it. They'll do whatever they need to do to get that car back and running.
They'll even rob parts of other people's cars, as we found
I've
out in
seen
the past.
that, yeah.
Especially Stephen Fitzgerald, if you remember, going back to that qualifying where I ripped the wheel clean off. And they robbed parts from everybody's cars in the paddock to get that wheel back on and get that car back together, and aligned it and then got him out for his battle. And just goes to show you the determination these guys have got. As we take a look down on the start line, we can see Vasquez out of the car, nervously walking around, hands in his pockets. I wonder what's going through that man's mind right now.
I know, can you imagine? I wonder if he's just getting himself in the zone and thinking about what he needs to do and thinking about the layout of the track and putting in a good run.
I think these guys will be, they'll be looking across now and saying that's how easy it is to ruin the whole weekend and damage now. I mean, we're going to have a short break between qualifying and top 24 competition. And these guys will be sitting there thinking it's so easy to get it wrong. When you look and you think Stefanov's putting in a flyer here, this could be a very high qualifying run, and then just goes wrong at the last minute. The back end of that car absolutely battered of Vasquez, and that car done some seriously hard work this year, and he will be that car back out tomorrow battling in the Battle Royale, Sarah.
That's it, so he's going to be doing a lot of driving in that car, and do you see he's got a new owner now? He's sold it.
Yes, so this car has been sold. It will be driven by its new owner tomorrow in competition. So we won't see Vasquez in this car anymore. And I do believe he's building a brand new car.
I reckon that's going to be something worth waiting for.
Yeah, I've seen some sneak peeks.
Have you?
Yep, some sneak peeks of it.
Right, I'm going to have to go and have a little nosy, see if he'll show me.
Have a little look. Yeah, so there we go. Stefanov's car on the truck. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as he makes his way off the track. Stefanov absolutely destroying the back end of that car to try and top qualifying. So as that recovery truck makes its way off the circuit, we get out the thumbs up all round from our track marshal Toby in the tower, and we can see Oliver Bolton down there warming up the tyres on the back end of that Nissan S13 SR20 under the bonnet, 440 horsepower, representing Funk Motorsport, Hell Performance and Link ECU, currently sitting 6th in the championship. This is his rookie year in the Pro Championship. He missed round 1 and he said, can you imagine how good of a year I would have had if I would have made round 1? Well, Oliver Bolton, nothing to lose. He comes flying in. He's going to put the back end of the car onto the wall. Look at that, Bolton. Nothing left at the back of that car, and he said, whatever there is left, I'm just going to destroy that too. He does sacrifice some depth into the outside zone 3 though, as Bolton throws on big angles. He comes down the back end of the circuit. Bolton now starting to get smoke all the way up to the wing mirror. Throws nice angle at it on the wall. Past the judging tower comes Ollie Bolton as he comes absolutely flying and puts the spoiler on the wall and takes the back end or whatever's remaining off of the car. And Bolton flying into the roundabout. He says, I want to be up there. I want to be in those top 8 qualifiers. Buxton makes some noise for Oliver Bolton.
Tell you what, he's getting a round of applause from the judges up in the tower here as well for that last wall run. That was absolutely incredible. You can't say he's rookie in any way, can you really? That was amazing.
He was a pro,
but he's not, is he? Do you know what I mean? He is and he's not at the same time. He's fantastic. He's really making steps into this.
Well, scores dropping in, and look at this big score, 88 for Oliver Bolton. Jumps into 4th place in qualifying, and Bolton throws it all out there. A big statement from Oliver Bolton as he jumps out of his car and takes a look and says, oh, more work to be done in the off-season.
I think he's looking at that wall and just gone, did I really just do that?
So Oliver Bolton there scoring himself an 88, jumping in 4th place in qualifying. That's a big statement.
Fantastic.
He's looking strong. Said he's feeling confident. End of the year, nothing to lose.
That's it.
So off the line, Adam Simmons now. And that means with Adam Simmons off the line, we have lost Ricky Lawrence in competition. So Ricky Lawrence has retired from competition. So 5th place in the championship at the moment, drops out and will not qualify here for the final round of the British Championship, as we see Simmons go very close to the wall. And this man, remember, very experienced here at Buxton. This is where he cut his teeth. This is where he earned his stripes many years ago. And Adam Simmons said, I never ever thought that I'd be bringing my race car back here and sticking it to the wall. And Simmons drops down off that wide line, but keeping that car intact as he gets himself set up nicely for the roundabout. And Simmons, well, his experience could come into play later on in the top 24 battles.
Yeah, he clearly knows this track very well, and he's been gelling with that car really well this year as well, and getting more and more confident as each round goes on.
There we go, scores dropping in for Adam Simmons, and he will score a 79, drops him into 10th position, just outside of those top 8 qualifiers. And nevertheless, Simmons getting himself nice and high in the order, and that means we are into the top 3 of the championship. Up first will be Oliver Evans, the design engineer from Cheshire, in his 2JZ powered S14.5, 700 horsepower. And Evans been looking strong all year. Can this be it? Can he do some serious damage in the final round of the championship? As he comes flying through the middle of the circuit. Nice initiation, and Evans knows what he needs to do. He knows he needs to get close to the wall. As you can see him lighting up those brake lights as he tries to work the back end of that S14 onto the wall, but he's going to sacrifice outside zone 4, and he's going to come up very short in the middle of the circuit. Once again, Evans just slightly deviates off that qualifying line. Now starts to rein it back in, now finds that form back on the qualifying line and goes again. You can see the amount of smoke inside Evans' car as he gets the back bumper onto the wall, dabbing the foot brake as Evans sticks the back end of that S14 onto the wall, gets himself into the roundabout, takes the perfect wide line to the wall and across the finish line.
Brilliant second half of the run. A few little errors at the beginning. I don't know how much that's going to affect his score, but his first run was really good. Looks like he's dropping in just below what he was earlier. 15th position in qualifying, now with a 70 for his second run.
Yeah, so Oliver Evans gets himself in the mid-pack in qualifying, so work to be done there for that young man. Not going to be an easy weekend for Oliver Evans. Up next, Martin Wonnacott on 83 on his first qualifying run, so he finds himself just outside, I do believe, of those top 8 qualifiers. You can see him absolutely flying, but he's way down off the bank. This is very uncharacteristic of Martin Wonnacott at the moment. You can see him not getting to that wall. He will perform outside zone 3 though, as he comes absolutely screaming through the middle of the circuit. And Martin Wonnacott may be going for a technical run, but judges are going to score this one down because he wasn't high at all on the bank. And you can see that car very shallow through the middle of the circuit in front of the judging tower. He does get it to the wall there, but then he's going to have to really work to get it back up there as Wonnacott hangs what's left of that Toyota Chaser over the wall. Into the roundabout he goes, foot to floor as he destroys the tyres in the back of that car.
Smoking out the grandstand there, Wonnacott. This is a guy that's really needing this weekend. The championship is in the balance for him, and that wasn't, like you said, Ian, it's a bit uncharacteristic for him. It wasn't quite as to the wall as he normally is, but it's still a decent score.
Yeah, but look at this, he's outside.
He's going to have to battle now to get
outside
into...
He's outside of that those top 8 finishers in qualifying, so there he stays in 9th position with an 83. Now for Skellis. Well, he sits outside of those top 8 qualifiers. He has a 61 after his first qualifying run. If he now can climb inside those top 8 qualifiers and guarantee himself a spot in top 16, he could start claiming a few more points away from Wonnacott, start to walk away with his championship.
Absolutely, and that if he does make it through to the 8 qualifiers, he's going to have basically a helping hand up there, whereas Wonnacott's going to be left having to battle to get into that.
Yeah, he certainly has. You can see the Skellis warming up the tyres on the back of that car, getting them nice and hot. Our track marshals just having a little bit of a laugh here between themselves. So Vasquez looks like he's done a set of tyres.
Yeah, a whole set of tyres gone there.
So Vasquez waits for the smoke to dissipate from the circuit from Martin Wonnacott's car.
So this is going to be interesting, because if Vasquez has to battle to get into the 16, Wonnacott has to battle also. Yet you've got a Pro-Am right up there in the safe 8 zone already.
This could go any way. Yeah. Well, he's off the line for the final qualifying run here of 2019. Off the line comes Aramis Vasquez, and he knows, and the car shuts down. The car shuts down. And problems for Vasquez. Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, Aramis Vasquez. Look at this, straight back to the pit. He wants to go straight back out to the pit. He knows there's an issue with that car and he wants as much time as possible. So there we go. Qualifying wrapped up. We need to make that official and get that score on the board from our judges. It will be a 0, but I can only relay that to you. We need to make it official here. It is a 0. So he sits in 23rd position. Vasquez almost out of qualifying, and wow, it was almost looking like a replay of Birmingham.
It was. I mean, he's safe, but for how long?
Well, we don't know.
You know, he's been storming all year, but the last couple of rounds, there's just been something that's not quite been right for him.
Well, who knows? Top 24 coming up
Who
next,
knows
though,
now?
Sarah. So there we go, that's qualifying all wrapped up here for the final round of British Drift Championship 2019. Don't forget, me and Sarah and the crew will be back at 6 o'clock for top 24 action from everybody here at the British Drift Championship. 6:15, we're just being told 6:50. Oh, 6:50. I'm getting it so wrong.
We're getting the times
it's
wrong.
so wrong
Because
today.
we're on night shift. Sorry.
Night shift. My body clock's all out. My body clock's all out at the
10
moment.
to 7.
So there we go, 10 to 7, 6:50, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back here for top 24 action, the final round of the British Drift Championship. For you guys in attendance, I do believe you're going to be making your way onto the circuit for a track walk. And you can get in through the gate at the side of the track. So we invite everybody here in attendance to come down the track, visit the drivers, take a look around the cars. From me and Sarah and all the crew, we'll be back at 6:50 for top 24. You don't want to miss this. See you soon.
We are Funk Motorsport, your heat management specialists. Based in the UK, we strive for perfection, developing thermal products trusted by professional race teams and drivers worldwide. Performance, protection, reliability.
Tarmac Sports.